Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. That's it. Breathing in that resourceful feeling of relaxation and allowing tension to leave your body in your outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper relaxed simply by breathing in a feeling of relaxation and exhaling any worries, tension or stress. And notice where in your body you feel that tension, you feel that stress. And just imagine as you breathe in this warm, resourceful feeling of relaxation that it's melting away any feelings of tension. And feel that tension leaving your body, melting away from those locations, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to create an image in your mind of a place in nature that you found relaxing. And I want you to imagine you're in that place. Perhaps outside, perhaps you can see blue skies and feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. And I want you to imagine, bizarrely, that there is a bed outside, a comfortable bed. Maybe a luxurious bed, a 4-poster bed, or a stylish bed. But see a comfortable mattress, soft duvet, fluffy pillows. And imagine lying on that bed, somewhere in nature that you feel is a peaceful place for you. Imagine feeling your head on the pillow, arms by your side, body sinking into that duvet, that mattress. And I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each descending number, you're going to feel 10% deeper and deeper relaxed. So relaxed, in fact, that you will go into a dreamlike state within your imagination, where changes can take place that are useful and powerful. Lying on that bed, 10, eyelids feeling heavier and heavier. 9, muscles in your forehead just becoming aware of any tension and just releasing that tension now. 8, focusing on any tension in your jaw. That's it. Releasing that tension. 7, becoming aware of any feelings of muscles being tense in your neck and your shoulders. And just imagine that tension melting away into the duvet, into the bed, enabling your neck and your shoulders to just feel all limp and loose and relaxed. 6, focusing now on the feeling of your arms. Imagine your arms feeling heavy and loose, relaxed, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. That's it. And then 6 and then 5, focusing that even your internal organs are relaxing. Your heart, your lungs, your stomach, your gut, all completely relaxing, particularly there, 4 in the gut. Any feelings of anxiety might feel like a sensation there in your gut. And as you breathe the lower there in the diaphragm, just feel that that releases any feelings of anxiety there in the gut. It feels good just to let go of that tension, let go of that anxiety, let go of that stress. As that feeling of relaxation goes down your legs. Legs also feeling limp, loose, heavy. 3 and then 2 down into your calf muscles. Even into your toes. So from the tip of your toes to the top of your head, just feel deeply relaxed, like you're falling asleep. 1 in that bed. breathing in fresh air, and just imagine a deep sleep. And within that deep sleep, imagine that you're walking down a spiral staircase. Just a spiral staircase in your mind, but it represents going deeper into your unconscious mind. Feel you're safely going almost like a spiral downwards and downwards and downwards, until you seem to appear in an old childhood bedroom. And I want you to see a child version of you, perhaps just 5 or 6 years old. And this child at this age was creating an idea of the world based on what they see, what they were told, what they heard, and perhaps what they learnt about nutrition, about what to eat and when to eat, and what it means to be fat or slim, overweight or a healthy weight. Wasn't necessarily coming from the best sources back then. And I want you to introduce yourself to this child, vulnerable, impressionable child, and to tell them that you're here to help. And first of all, I just want you to listen. Listen to any worries, problems or concerns. Just listen to what they're going through at that point in time. Not to solve it, not to fix it, just to listen to what they're thinking at that moment in their life. And in your imagination, time can be sped up. A second can feel like an hour, and an hour can feel like a second. And I want you to imagine that this child has unloaded their worries, their concerns, their problems, and notice from their facial expressions that they seem happier, more content, more relaxed just by having someone to talk to. I want you to imagine that you can see this child in this room, and perhaps to see a lampshade that looked like a hot air balloon with a small basket underneath. And I want you to imagine that you're telling this child that you know their secret, you know what they keep in that basket. You might see the surprised face, wondering how you know what nobody else knows. And I want you to share with this child why they're hiding food and treats in this secret place. Maybe you tell them that they're worried there isn't enough food around, that they know that they're not allowed certain things. And I want you to imagine telling this child things that help to reassure them. Tell them they're not going to starve. Tell them that they're beautiful as they are. They don't have to change their shape. And I want you to imagine that the knowledge that you have in the present about nutrition, this small child didn't have that. And I want you to imagine that you're giving this child a gift of the wisdom that you've accumulated throughout your life to this child that didn't have that back then. Just imagine it going from your mind to the mind of this child, with this idea that once you know better, you do better. But this child didn't know any better back then. So sneaking treats was an act of rebellion, but also an attempt to give a feeling of love from themselves to themselves. And I want you to share with this child that the ultimate self-love comes from not treats, but self-acceptance. Tell this child that you accept them and that it's okay for them to accept themselves. And if that child accepts that to be true, let me know by nodding your head. And then give that child a hug. Love without conditions, without strings attached, without them needing to meet a criteria or follow rules. Just love them because they are worthy and deserving of love. It's time to leave this place, and I want you to imagine there is a doorway in this room that takes you to a deeper part of your subconscious mind. I want you to say goodbye to this child, open the door and walk through, and then find yourself in a large, empty, well-lit room. Accepting that this is just somewhere deep in your unconscious mind where changes can take place. I want you to feel like you're in your own body. And I want you to try and bring forth a voice that tries to guide you, telling you what you should do, what you have to do. You must do this, you must eat that. And if you can bring forth that voice and feel like it's in your own head, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine that there is a pad of paper in front of you and some colourful pens, and I want you to draw a character. A character that looks comical, but a character that is very righteous, very bossy, always telling other people what they should do. And I want you to imagine drawing this character and making this a colourful character. And when you've created that character on that pad of paper in front of you, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine that this character is no longer on the pad, but you create it as a three-dimensional character in the same room. This character now represents an inner voice that comes to represent a well-intentioned desire to help you with anxiety, with tiredness, with boredom. But I want you to imagine a righteous, self-important voice where they sound very certain, but there's something about that voice that makes it comical in some way. Maybe they sound certain, but they are squeaky. Or there's something about it that makes you smile when they start talking. And I want you to imagine that you know what it feels like to feel tired. And I want you to imagine this voice in its unique way telling you that you have to do something, you need to do something. And the more this voice tries to convince you to do things that don't align with a good choice, I want you to bring forth the part within you, the part that buys and reads these nutritional books, to feel like that's the voice inside your head, and the voice outside your head is the voice that's trying to encourage you to make choices that are not in your best interest. And I want you to notice that the harder this comical character tries to command you, boss you, influence you into making unhealthy choices, the louder that voice comes within your own head as to all the different options that make way more sense nutritionally, from an energy perspective. The ideal reward or gift you can give to yourself is energy, vitality, and nurturing yourself through good nutrition. And this bright white room, I want you to change it to a place of work. Feel that you're sleepy or tired, and then see that character desperately try and influence you to be eating biscuits and popcorn and snacks. And the harder they try, the more that voice inside your own head says, I don't need that. I can eat a piece of fruit. I can just move my body. I can have a glass of water. But see how tenacious this bossy, comical character gets at trying to coerce you, control you to make bad choices. And the harder they try, the more determined you are to do what you know would actually help. Just like a time in the past, eating an apple was a better way to stay awake when driving. That same voice of knowing this is the best thing to do comes into your mind. And all of that voice of gratification, of comfort, of telling you what you need to do, makes it so easy for you to realize that you don't need to do any of those things. And then imagine that you're no longer in a place of work, but in your home, but feeling bored. It's the end of the day. And then that voice pops up in that comical character that you drew and is now real, telling you that you need to treat yourself. You need to do something to reward yourself for working so hard. But the harder that voice tries to influence, the more that healthy, conscious voice comes up in your own mind with much better ideas about how to meet that need in a way that works with your body rather than against it. So it doesn't matter if it's tiredness, boredom, or anxiety. This will trigger this voice to feel like it's outside of your body, commanding you to do certain things that aren't in your interest. In the same way that in the past you were told you have to take diet pills and you have to lose weight and go on a diet. But back then you didn't have that knowledgeable, nutritional voice inside your own head to counter that with a much better idea. But now you do. And if your unconscious accepts that the harder this voice tries to coerce you into bad choices, the louder that internal voice will appear with much better choices and much better ideas. Just let me know by nodding your head. And in this well-lit room, I want you to imagine there's a TV screen of a future. And I want you to see two different futures. A future where this bossy, annoying, coercive voice takes you, and I want you to see a future version of you where you are living for attention and living for gratification. See yourself older in life, perhaps looking sick, unhealthy. But then also see a different future, a future that when you listen to that voice that is knowledgeable, compassionate, caring and understanding, and values your health and vitality, see that future. And realize that where you end up is proportionate to which voice you listen to more often. And if you're ready to listen to the voice that comes from wisdom and knowledge, acceptance and understanding, rather than coercion and manipulation, just let me know by nodding your head. And take that feeling of that voice, make it louder. It's a caring voice, a knowledgeable voice. Hold that voice in your head and knowing that you can bring this voice forward whenever you need it. And then imagine walking through a door and then seeing yourself as a child, But before you leave that room, give them a hug again and just tell them that they are worthy. They are accepted, they are loved, and you believe in them. Give them a hug, say goodbye, and then see a spiral staircase that you're climbing upwards. When you get to the top of that spiral staircase, you'll find yourself lying on a bed in nature, feeling that something has changed, even if you're not quite sure what. Imagine getting up out of that bed, walking around that nature, but feeling that the primary voice in your head is a very caring, understanding, nurturing voice. And I want you to try and bring forth a voice that would try and get you to make a bad choice, and immediately see this comical character that you drew with that annoying, coercive voice. It just feels like it's outside of your body. So easy for you to disregard it. In fact, you like that voice because the harder that voice tries to make you to make a bad decision, all it does is bring forth this caring, understanding, nurturing voice that makes you want to make great choices. And then realize that this bed, in nature, this time, are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and actually you're listening to my voice firmly in the present. So feel yourself in your own body right now, listening to my voice as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're back in your body right now. As I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, empowered, with a better connection from yourself to yourself. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8. Open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake.